Welcome, everybody, to another episode of So What Is Your Point? And today, Stephen, my partner, and I'm Roger Matthews, are talking about listening aggressively. We all know how important listening is, and it is really one of the greatest gifts we could give another person is to listen to them. And we have some ideas on how you might listen more proactively and more aggressively.
Very
Steve, what are
good.
your thoughts?
Well, Roger, I think we all know that in the business world, whether you're talking about working with employees or where you're working with customers, all too often we talk from our point of view and we don't really listen to their needs, their desires, what's on their mind. Hence the topic today. A couple of quotes. You cannot truly listen to anyone and do anything else at the same time. This is so true. All too often, you'll have people trying to work on their computer and listen to somebody, and they think that they're listening, but they might be hearing, but they're not absorbing. And that's a crucial aspect of really active, aggressive listening. The second quote is from Stephen Covey. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. That is counterproductive to actually understanding where the person's coming from. Ever have a situation where you're talking to somebody, you're listening with the intent to reply, they say something, and then you say the same thing as if you're arguing with them?
Yeah, yeah. And the other quote, we don't have a slide for it, but seek to understand first,
Yes.
and then seek to be understood.
That's a very good one. And that's so important. It's a very insightful process for active listening. So great leaders and great salespeople listen aggressively. All too often I hear stories about salespeople who go in, they tell their story, but they don't listen to what the customer is looking for. So treat every encounter with every person as the most important thing at that moment. This is not easy to do. But if you can do this, you build up points with everyone you meet. And you create that credibility that makes it possible for you to influence others.
And it's really, people feel it when when they really truly feel like you're listening. They really understand that. It's almost intuitive that you're really listening to them. And especially if you consciously try to feed it back to them, right?
Correct. So it might not come naturally or easy to do this. And it's going to be an effort to do it. And you might not think it's worth the effort to do it, but it really is. It makes a huge difference. You don't need to think don't think you have to have all the answers. Particularly leaders. When someone comes to you with a problem, don't try to solve the problem every time. Ask questions. What do you think we could do here? What ideas do you have to solve this problem? Listen to those ideas, because doing that gives you the ability to develop rapport, to build up others, to help them grow and progress, get them on the same wavelength that you're on. So ask questions.
So by asking questions, Steve, one of the things that comes to my mind is that it also clarifies the thinking of the other person. If you ask questions and maybe they haven't thought through the issue 100% either, but it helps them clarify their own thinking, right?
Right. And when someone comes up with a solution to a problem that you feel is a good solution, what does that do to their ego, their confidence, their ability to make decisions in the future?
They feel pretty happy about it.
Right, right. The impact is powerful and uplifting for your contact there. If you're, let's say you're in a sales conversation, if they come up with the idea that your product is going to solve their solution, you're done.
Yeah, yeah.
And they feel good about it. They're not going to have any buyer's remorse.
Right.
And you're going to have the opportunity to learn and get the best from other people. It's really so valuable when you listen, you ask questions, and you engage with them. So asking questions is important. By listening aggressively, you can do a lot of things. You can gather new ideas and better ways of doing things that you can use in the future. You know, again, if you have a team of 12 people, they have experience, they have knowledge, they have ideas. You don't have to have the idea to solve everything. If you try to be the problem solver for every problem, all you're going to have is people coming to you to solve their problems.
And you'll come off as a know-it-all.
But if you allow them, help them to start solving the problems, you benefit tremendously. And you don't have, it takes a lot of time off of your plate there because they know how to solve problems. By listening aggressively, you can get to know your team members or customers more deeply. So for instance, how well do you know each member of your team? I read a very fascinating book. I love this book. The title of the book is "It's Your Ship." It is your ship. It's your ship. And the author talks about wanting to be a better captain of the ship. So he met with every member of his ship, and 310 people. He sat down with each one of them, and he talked to them about their, such things as where they came from, how they got to their job, what they desire for their future. He talked to them about their families, their spouses, their kids. Everything he could learn about his sailors and officers, he learned everything he could. What that did was change the whole dynamic of how his team viewed him as a leader. Because now he could take and he could send a birthday card to this sailor's spouse, wishing him happy birthday, whatever, or kids, anniversaries. He could recognize anniversaries because he knew everything that was going on. But he had to listen aggressively to get that information and ask great questions. Now, neuroscience teaches us that people want to be respected and feel that they can trust their peers and leaders. And unless the leader listens to their subordinates, their team members, they're not going to have that respect, and they're not going to engender that they respect and trust those that they're leading. So they're not going to get that reciprocal.
Boy, and that has a huge impact to companies, doesn't it? One of the biggest reasons people leave is they don't feel they can trust their immediate leader, don't respect them, and just plain dislike them. And that's why one of the reasons people leave a company, right?
Absolutely. Most people leave, they don't say this, they'll give other reasons. But most people really leave because of their manager or their respect for senior management. And if senior
Right.
management is not connected to their employees, they're not going to have that respect.
Right. And most senior leaders often miss this point. They say, well, oh, I'm too busy, or I'm too I got too many things to do. I can't spend my time connecting with everybody and all that kind of stuff. So senior leaders and managers really miss this.
Absolutely. I agree with that. People also want to belong and be cared about. So if a leader is taking time to get to know all their employees, and that can be hard. But if a senior leader, let's say you have a 5,000 employee company, you can't get to know everybody. I understand that.
Right.
But if you show up in the company cafeteria and you sit down with employees and just have lunch and talk with them about what's going on and how they see the company and what he can do to improve, that word permeates that the leader wants to know and is engaging with others
And cares about their opinions.
and cares
When
about their
somebody
opinions.
when somebody asks you, how do you feel about the way we're doing X? Uh, they really feel like they're valued.
Right. So aggressive listening helps us strengthen those bonds and get the best from our people. And that's so crucial. We have an opportunity. We need to take advantage of it. And really, listening is leaders' secret weapon. If they don't listen, they're not going to have the advantage. But if they do aggressively listen, they're going to have a significant advantage over those that they're competing against, because their employees are going to feel that they're valued and they're cared about and that they bring something to the party that's more than the competitors' employees. And if we're open to new perspectives and ideas, we can grow and we can grow others. So the bottom line is, try aggressive listening. It's going to take time. It's going to take an effort. Ask questions, engage with people, stop doing everything else. Just focus and let them show them that you are focused just on them at that moment.
And just being aware that this is an important thing to do. And when you get a phone call, just stop what you're doing and focus on the phone call, right?
Right.
So that gives people a lot of great ideas to focus on, and aggressive listening. Try it this week. See how it works for you. See if it changes the way you communicate to other people. And join us again next week for So What Is Your Point? And just as a reminder, if you're listening on a podcast and you want to have these slides, you can go to our YouTube channel, So What Is Your Point? And actually view the slides as we are doing the podcast. So that will offer that opportunity for you if you like to see slides as well. So we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.
Bye.